Hello Simmers, we're back with some more Hockey Legacy Manager Battle Royale mode. And in this one, we are going to get started with year number 2 with your New Jersey Devils. But first, we have to create Zeke Burns, an upcoming prospect in this year's entry draft who is a custom player for a channel member. So what we're going to do, I have 3 different wheels on the picker wheel. First of all, of course, we have the player potential wheel, which we will spin right now. And what will his potential be? It will be 4-star potential. Not bad. And now we need to determine his motivation level. So I'll switch to the motivation wheel I have set up here. Most players are going to be a medium motivation level, so I set that for 70%. But there's also the possibility of being low, poor, absolute, or high. Absolute being the best option. So here we go. And Zeke Burns will have a medium motivation. And the last thing we need to determine for Zeke Burns is his overall when drafted. So we will switch to the overall wheel here as we have options for 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, and 80. Obviously 50, 55, and 60 being the most common options at 20% each, but that 80 overall at 1%. So the franchise player right there, basically. So now let's spin the wheel and see the overall of Zeke Burns. And he will be a 55 overall to start his career. So 55 overall, 4-star potential, medium motivation. Not bad. I mean, I guess we'll see where he ends up going in the draft, but I would have to imagine he goes, honestly, I would say he's at least a first-round pick, maybe a second-round pick. I'm not sure. We'll see how this year's draft is, but that he seems like a pretty good player. So 4-star potential, medium motivation, and 55 overall. He has the 99 health. I'm going to set that for every player that we create for a channel member, and we'll see where he goes in the upcoming draft. Okay. We actually need to set draft projection there. I mean, like I said, I think he could potentially be a first-round pick, so I'll just set him for round 1 for the time being, and we'll see where he ends up. So now with that out of the way, we will go to the draft. So first of all, let's see where Mr. Zeke Burns is. Is he in this draft? He should be. Anyway, we're on our first pick now at number 40, I believe it is. Yes, indeed. You have Matt Schaefer going first overall to the Chicago Blackhawks, followed up by Misa to the Anaheim Ducks, and then Hagens to the Boston Bruins at number 3. Now, where is Mr. Zeke Burns here? Does not appear he has gone yet. I wonder if we created him too late. We might have been a little too late in creating Zeke Burns. He might not appear till next year's draft. Oh, got it. We only have 7 seconds. Lag. Stop lagging. Stop. I'm not used to the timer. I'm not used to the timer. I'm used to the FHM where there's no timer on each pick. I was in commentary mode, okay? Welcome to the New Jersey Devils, Luca Romano. At least he has the 3.5 green star potential. That's not bad. 63 overall. A good player for sure, but we unfortunately did not get to make the pick ourselves because I'm not used to there being a timer there. So let's sim up to our next pick and not wasting any time this time, going right into it. I think for me, Norbert has to be the pick here. Matteo Norbert. He's a playmaker, which, again, our team currently, as it is, likes those offensive players, right? Especially with Sheldon Keefe as the coach. 65 offensive rating, but I think he will be a pretty good player here. So Matteo Norbert, welcome to the New Jersey Devils. He has a 62 overall, 4 red star potential. All right, on to round number 4 now. Pick number 91. You have Handel here, who is an offensive defenseman. He's jumped plus 68 from his preseason draft rank. He was at 46 at one point. 35 points on the season with Halifax. His offensive rating in the 60s, defensive rating in the 60s. Yeah, I think we'll take Carlos Handel here. Welcome to the New Jersey Devils. He's a 62 overall offensive defenseman, 3.5 gold star potential. So now we're at pick number 100, still in the 4th round. I think we'll take a forward here. That's either going to be Theo Stockselius, who's a 64 offensive rating, 61 defensive rating. Jumped plus 129 from his preseason ranking. Then you have Mikhail Sverchek, who's ranked at 103, 63 offensive, 60 defensive. I think I'll take Stockselius. He's got the flexibility to be a left winger as well. So Theo Stockselius, welcome to the New Jersey Devils. He has a 62 overall, with the 3.5 gold star potential. Very nice. And on to round number 6 now. So skipping round number 5. It does not appear that we have too much else on any of the other players here. I think I'll take a sniper, Chase Jett. He's got 31 goals last season, 68 games played for Barrie. So we'll take him with this pick. Welcome to the New Jersey Devils. And he has a 3.5 red star potential, 61 overall. All right, next pick. We're at pick 160, still in the 6th round here. Let's get a look at Karamov. He's at 137, 62 offensive, 60 defensive, 12 goals, 29 assists, 41 points, 161 hits. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't really see too many players who would be better options. So Karamov, welcome to the New Jersey Devils. He's a 61 overall, 3.5 red star potential. And out of the 7th round now, pick 190. I'm assuming this is our last pick. I think this guy looks pretty interesting. Tinas Luke Koblar rose from 466 to 168 by the end of the season. And it seems he just turned 17 as well. He was supposed to be picked in the 6th round according to this, so we may as well take him. Welcome to the New Jersey Devils, Tinas Luke Koblar. And he has the 61 overall, 3 gold star potential. And that'll be it for this draft. So hold on, let me see if Zeke Burns was taken by anybody. Okay, yeah, he's going to be in the 2026 draft. Okay, yeah, we created him a little too late, unfortunately. So I guess that's something to look forward to for next year's draft and make sure we don't get eliminated at the end of year number 2, right? So now let's get a look at our expiring contracts. You have no one really of note as far as RFAs go. UFAs, you have Allen, I'm not resigning. Dumoulin, not resigning. Bastion, I mean, what did he do last year? 15 points. What was his CF percentage? 47.8. I think we can move on from Bastion. Sprong, he had 22 goals and 5 assists. Jeez. 52 CF percentage. I mean, I might just keep him if for no other reason that the fact that he's a sniper and that we are a very offensive team with Sheldon Keefe as the coach. So what does he want? He wants 1 year for 1.7. We have 6.9 in cap space total. So let's just see what's happening with everybody else here. Lazar, I think we will probably release. I mean, he had high faceoff percentage. He had a 57.1, 49.5 Corsi 4. Actually, I might re-sign Lazar just because of that high faceoff percentage. He might be good as a backup forward. And then Dowling, Willman, LeBurge, and Zaitsev, I will release. And then RFA-wise, I will re-sign Salmonen. I will re-sign LaChance, Halter, Nolan Foote. And then I guess I will re-sign both Sprong and Lazar. So I'll give Sprong 1 year for 1.68 and Lazar 1 year for 1.22. And all of those players have accepted their offers. You still have Lagare, McLaughlin, Hataka, Edwards, and Hertig. And then UFAs, you have Allen, Dumoulin, Bastion, Dowling. Okay, I'm not re-signing any of these guys. I think, honestly, I'll release the rest of these guys. We need to make room for some new prospects like Daniil Orlov here, who I would definitely sign. Offensive defenseman, 21 years of age already, 71 overall with a 3.5 red star potential. I think I'll sign Haminaho as well, 20 years of age, 71 overall with a 4 gold star potential. I would sign Karpovich as well, who is 20 years of age, 69 overall, 4 red star. As for Salayev, I think I'll let him cook for 1 more season at least before I sign him. I want him to get a really nice jump there. And I think that is all we're going to do in the re-sign stage, so let's move on to July 1st. The thing that's unfortunate is that we really cannot do much in free agency with so many players still on no move and no trade clauses. You have Howla still 1 year left, Dylan still 2 years left, Pesci 5 years left at 30 years of age. Then you have Brat, who we're going to be holding on to anyway. But then you have Hamilton, 32 years of age, 3 years left on the $9 million deal, no movement clause. Markstrom's got the no movement clause. Meyer for 6 more years. And then you have Palat for 2 more years. So there's really not a whole lot that we can do, at least nothing big, right? John Tavares, 3.8 for 3 years at an 86 overall sniper, 34 years of age. I mean, he would be a great player. He would, for certain, be a great player for this team, just given the style that we like to play. All right, first of all, let's see who's coming up this year. You have Markstrom, Nemetz, who's going to want a raise for sure. Yeah, oh yeah, we're not going to be able to afford Tavares. There's no way. Nemetz alone is asking for over 6 mil. Then Cotter, who wants 4 point. Yeah, we're not going to be able to afford Tavares. There's no way. So honestly, I don't think making moves in free agency is the way to go here. Because if we do anything in free agency, we're going to be putting ourselves in a huge hole contract-wise. Honestly, I think it would just be better to get guys like Nemetz and Cotter out of the way right now. just so we know where we're standing salary-wise next year. And Nemetz is an 86 overall now. I think he was at 83 last year. So I'm going to see if I can get, yeah, he wants a bridge deal. I can get him down to 5.872 for 2 years. I think we'll do that. And then Cotter, what does he want? He wants a long-term deal, it looks like. What did he do last year? Only 18 points. I think I'll probably hold off on Cotter. He wants quite a bit, but I definitely wanted to get Nemetz out of the way. Yeah, I don't think there's anything we can do in free agency here. So let's just advance a day. And Nemetz has accepted his contract extension. I guess if anything, I'll sign some cheap depth, but that's about it. That's about all we can do. So let's get a playmaker at forward. Let's say Rem Pitlick here, 80 overall. He did not play in the NHL last year, but I am willing to give him a chance because we just need some depth right now. So Pitlick, I will give you 2 years. Actually, no, 1 year. It's got to be 1 year. Yeah, 1 year for 1.05. Now I'll try to get an offensive defenseman here as well. Maybe Klingberg for 1 year. He's at 82 overall. And I'll give him what he wants at 1 year for 1.994. But that is really about all we can do here, I think. And both Klingberg and Pitlick have accepted our offers. So that's some good depth in there. Although I am still going to play Casey over Klingberg, that's for sure. Klingberg is just going to be solid 7th defenseman that we can rely on in a pinch. And then with Pitlick in there on the 4th line, that actually makes the 4th line blue chemistry as of right now with the way it is with Palat, Pitlick, and Sprong. And I think we'll just have Dawes in goal as the backup. He should be good enough at a 78 overall. So I think with that, that'll be about it for free agency. And we can move on to the Hall of Fame. Perunovic, offensive defenseman. No contracts, so he's unsigned by the Islanders. He had 35 points last year. They're basically just trading us his rights, though. And they want a 2nd round pick for him. No, I think we're good for right now. Maybe I'll circle back on him later. Okay, so Thornton, Bergeron, I'll say Marleau. And then for my last selection, Rene. So there you go. Your 2025 Hall of Fame inductees are Patrice Bergeron, Patrick Marleau, and Joe Thornton. Now let's take a look at player development. Oh, look at that. Luca Romano really went up ever since his draft. He went from 63 to a 71. Salmonen went from a 69 to a 75. Philman and Norbert up by 4. Karpovich and Brown up by 3. And now it seems actually Nemetz is up to an 87 overall. All right, so here are the lines for the start of year number 2. We have Bratt, Hughes, and Toffoli on the first line. That's blue chemistry. And the rest of the forward lines are all green chemistry. So some good forward chemistry now. You have Meyer, Hischier, and Pitlick on the second line. Cotter, Glass, and Nason on the third line. And then Palat, Haula, and Sprong on the fourth. Defensively, you have Hughes and Nemetz, Pesce and Hamilton, Dillon and Casey, and then Klingberg as the extra. And then the extras at forward are Lazar and Foote. In goal, you have Markstrom and Dawes. On the power play, you have Bratt, Hughes, Toffoli, Hughes, and Hamilton. Then you have Meyer, Hischier, Nason, Casey, and Nemetz. Penalty kill, you have Hischier, Cotter, Pesce, and Nemetz. Then you have Haula, Meyer, Hughes, and Hamilton. So with that, let's get into the simulation for year number 2. Oh, so something I noticed at the end of last episode off screen is that the players who are on the teams that have been eliminated so far, so Buffalo and San Jose, are no longer even in the league. For example, not Zeke Burns. If we take a look, there's no Macklin Celebrini right now in the league. And there's also no Rasmus Dahlin. So that's big. Because at first I thought it would just be like the players on those teams would just be released. But no, they just flat out disappear. So this should be a very interesting series. Ooh, first major injury of the year. Rem Pitlick goes down for nearly 2 months there with a fractured leg. All right, so we are at the trade deadline now. We are 39, 21, and 4. Quite the difference from last year as we find ourselves comfortably in a playoff spot as we are, in the Central Division now. But you know what? It's working out for us, so I'm not complaining. I mean, you have Winnipeg, Nashville, Colorado, Ottawa, Dallas, Calgary, and Utah on the Metro now with the Rangers. I guess that is a side effect of the game mode that we are playing here. So we are currently second in the Central Division with 82 points, sitting comfortably in a playoff spot. Now let's take a look at the player stats. Jack Hughes has been absolutely on fire this season. 100 points so far in just 64 games played, with still some more to play. So he has been fantastic. Jesper Bratt with 87, Tyler Toffoli with 68, Luke Hughes with 65, Hamilton with 62, Meyer with 55, Nemetz with 51, Hischier with 48, and then it drops down to Nason with 26. So very reliant on our top players there, it seems. Pitlick with 22, Casey with 22, 19 for Pesce, 15 for Cotter, 14 for Sprong and Glass, 10 for Palat, 8 for Haula, 2 for Dylan and Lazar, and nothing for Foot in 4 games played. And in goal for Markstrom, you have a 909 save percentage in 42 games played, and Dawes in 22 games played as a 901. Although before we move on past the trade deadline, I do want to check on the contract situation, just to be sure we know what's happening going into next season and that we're not caught by surprise by anything. So we have, as it currently stands, roughly 19 million in cap space going into next season. Cotter has 15 points so far in 58 games played. I don't know if that justifies the money he's asking for. He's asking for 3.5 for 4 years. Markstrom is 36 now. He's dropped down to an 83. He only wants 1 year for 1.7. I mean, that might not be bad, especially considering the numbers he's put up so far. He's been pretty good in the simulation, but I don't think I'm going to do that now. I'll wait to see what happens. Then you have Klingberg, who has not played a single game so far. Then you have Howla. He wants roughly 1 year for 1 mil. I mean, that's a solid deal, but right now I just want to leave our options open for us. So I'm not going to renew Howla for right now. Then you have Lazar, Sprong, Pitlick, Hardman, Dawes. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anybody here who I really want to renew, or at least not anybody who I'm really eager to renew. If anybody, I'd renew Cotter, but again, I don't know if his production justifies that kind of money. I mean, he's fine for what his current contract is. His current contract is like basically nothing, is a minimum deal. So I'm fine with what he's currently doing. But, you know, if he starts making 3.5 for 4 years, I expect him to produce like that. And so far he hasn't done that in his career. So I don't know if I exactly want to do that. And in fact, I might try to flip him. He might make some good trade bait. Got 116 hits. He's a good hitter. 44.2 Corsi for percentage. I guess if I were to trade Cotter, I definitely want a sniper in return for him. Get someone to play with Glass and Nason. And that should end up making that line blue chemistry if we do that. Actually, that might be what I do. I'm going to see if we could try to find a sniper that's out there in exchange for Cotter. Yeah, Olofsson's a free agent. We may as well just see how Olofsson works in our lineup. We can get him for really cheap too. So yeah, let's send that offer to him. All right, I think we have a pretty interesting trade here. We're going to be making a trade for Adrian Kempe, currently on a 1 year deal, modified no trade clause. So that's why we're able to trade for him. $5.5 million in salary. Currently, he's set to be a UFA after this season. So we'll see how much he costs to re-sign after we trade for him. Now, going the other way, you have Paul Cotter, who once again has not been very productive over the past 2 years. Of course, the for percentage has been not that great, especially not this year. And he was asking for, what was it, 3.5 million on his deal. Didn't want to give him that. So figure we may as well trade him to LA along with a 2026 first round pick. But there's a condition on it in that we must win the Stanley Cup in order for them to receive the first round pick. If not, then they will receive our 2026 second round pick. So there you go. That is the deal. So Paul Cotter and a conditional 2026 first round pick in exchange for Adrian Kempe. Will that go through? Not quite. Okay. Oh, okay. Did the trade value not update? Yeah, the trade value must not have updated. We're actually quite far off. Yeah, that makes sense. It's probably because of the condition, right? Yeah. Because as far as LA is concerned, that may as well be a second round pick for them, right? In terms of trade value. All right, you know what? I mean, we're 39, 21, and 4 right now anyway. I have to assume that this trade for Adrian Kempe is going to make us much better. So I think what we'll do instead is we'll have the condition of the lower of either our pick or Ottawa's pick. It's probably going to be our pick because I think Ottawa is currently, if I'm not mistaken, in a wild card right now. We'll check that after this. So it'll be Paul Cotter and the lower of either our first round pick or Ottawa's first round pick in exchange for Kempe and a third round pick for this year from LA. Proposed trade accepted. There it is. So now let's take a look at the team standings, see where Ottawa is. Yeah, they're in a wild card, meaning it is more than likely going to be our pick that is going to be sent to LA, which I don't have a problem with. So Adrian Kempe, welcome to the New Jersey Devils. And as expected, he makes that chemistry a blue chemistry on the third line. But do I want him on the third line? I might be able to switch him with Meyer. Would I be able to have the same effect? It does add the blue chemistry to the second line. The only thing I don't like about that is Meyer still has 6 years left on his contract, and I don't want him to drop any more than necessary. So I'm kind of nervous about playing him on the third line. I can't put Toffoli on the third line, but at the same time, I don't want to break up what that first line's been doing this season because Hughes already has 100 points with Toffoli and Bratt there. Although I definitely want to get him on the power play instead of Nason. And then I'll get Nason on the penalty kill because I think that's where Cotter was. All right, now I'm going to see how much Kempe would cost to extend. Okay, the good news is that he doesn't want a clause on his contract. Unfortunately, he's asking for 6.8 for 6 years. That might be problematic. All right, you know what? I'm not going to renew him right now. For now, let's just see how he simulates on this team. Obviously, he's going to be on the third line for right now. But at the same time, I still want to test him out on the second line with Hischier and Pitlick. Again, my only concern is Meier dropping. I really do not want him to drop, considering his no movement clause. All right, you know what? I'll just do it for the rest of this season. We'll see what happens with Kempe on the top 6 with Hischier and Pitlick. I just hope that doesn't affect Meier too much. That's my only concern. If Meier starts to drop, I'm putting him right back on that second line, because this team cannot afford to have a contract like his be, you know, an 80 overall stuck on the fourth line like Palat is right now. So I think with that, we'll simulate up to the end of the regular season here. Oh, and Victor Olofsson has accepted our offer. All right, we finished 45, 31, and 6 on the season. That is good enough for the first wild card spot in the West and 12th in the league. So now let's get a look at the player stats. You have Jack Hughes leading the team with 118 points in 82 games played. Then you have Jesper Bratt with 99, Toffoli with 81, Hamilton with 78, Hughes with 77, Kempe with 68. He had, for us, only 9 points in 18 games played. Ooh, that's a bit rough, especially considering the first round pick we gave up for him. And you have Meier with 59, Hischier with 56, Nemetz with 56. Then it drops down to Nason with 28, Pitlick with 25, Casey with 25, Pesci with 19, 16 for Sprong, 15 for Glass, 12 for Howla, 11 for Palat, 2 for Dylan and Lazar, and 1 for Olofsson in 7 games played. And in goal, you have Markstrom in 54 games played with a 909, and Dawes in 28 games played with a 902. So overall, not a bad season here, but we'll see what happens in the playoffs. And we will be facing Boston in the first round, so let's get right to it. Here we go, ×2 speed. I think that'll be good. So here we go. Let's start the sim. And that'll be a goal right off the bat for Seamus Casey from Kempe and Hischier. Makes it 1-0. But Zaka, the former New Jersey Devil, makes it 1-1 heading in the second period. And there's another one. Reichel for Boston makes it 2-1. Come on, guys. There's another one. Toffoli. And then Hughes from Toffoli. But then James Higgins gets one for Boston. Makes it tied at 3. Come on, guys. Break this tie. We're heading to overtime now. Come on, New Jersey. There it is. Pasternak with the goal for Boston. And they take a 1-0 series lead. All right, here we go. Game number 2. And did the sim speed change? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, ×1 must be the default. There's our first goal of the game. Hischier from Nemetz and Pitlick makes it 1-0. Second period, Hamilton with a goal from Hughes and Bratt. But the 3 quick goals for Boston makes it 3-2, 4-2. My goodness. Pasternak with the third of the series. Sprong with the goal makes it 4-3. I can barely keep up commentary-wise. Maybe ×1 is the right speed to go. There's Jack Hughes from Luke Hughes to make it 4-4. And Higgins with 46 seconds left makes it the 5-4 Boston victory. So heading to game 3, down by 2. I think we will try to the ×1 speed this time, considering I was struggling to keep up with the commentary in the last one. So here we go. Halfway through the first period, there's the goal from Hischier, from Kempe and Meier to make it 1-0 on the power play. And will that be it? That'll be it for the first period, up by 1. But there's Higgins with the goal to make it tied at 1. Halfway through the second period now, still tied at 1. And there's 2-1. McAvoy with the goal. And Boston's up by 1 heading into the third period. Come on, guys. There it is. Jack Hughes with the goal from Casey and Bratt. Makes it tied at 2. Are we ending this before overtime? Nope, we're going to overtime. We're on the power play, and Middlestat gets the goal for Boston. They're up 3-0 in the series. Here we go. Game number 4. Underway. Yeah, the ×1 speed is definitely much better. I can actually keep up. Halfway through the first period, still nothing doing. And that'll be it for the first. No goals on either side. Who is going to break the ice? It'll be Meier from Nason and Nemetz to make it 1-0 heading into the third period. Come on, guys. Give me one more. Give me an insurance marker. Give me one more, New Jersey. There it is. Toffoli from Hughes and Nemetz makes it 2-0. And will that be it? No, one more. Hischier from Kempe and Casey, and then Kempe from Hischier and Casey to make it a 4-0 New Jersey victory. So after a scoreless first half of the game, we explode for 4 goals to give us our first win of the series. 3 stars of the game: Markstrom, Hischier, and Kempe. And actually, I just realized I've been neglecting the 3 stars from the other games, but it's safe to say that they were all from Boston. So headed into game number 5 now in Boston. Come on, guys. Make this a series. And there's a goal for Lindholm for Boston. Makes it 1-0. There's 2-0. Zaka with the goal from Mercer, another former Devil. Makes it 2-0. Heading into the second period is not looking good. big second period here. Come on, guys. There it is. Hamilton from Bratt makes it 2-1. And will that be it for the second? That is indeed it for the second. Heading to the third, down by 1. Come on, New Jersey. Get something going here in the third. It's not looking good. Oh, Meyer with the goal from Nemeth and Glass. We're tied at 2, and Mercer from McAvoy makes it 3-2, and we are out in the first round. That is unfortunate. So let's check the player stats. You have Jack Hughes with 6 points in 5 games played. Nico with 5. Same as Casey with 5. Kempe and Nemetz with 4. Kempe did well. Toffoli and Meyer and Bratt with 3. Hamilton with 2. 1 for Howla, Sprong, Pitlick, Glass, Luke Hughes, and Nason, and then nothing for Dylan Palat or Pesci. And then in goal, you have Markstrom in 5 games played with a 9-14. He did all right, but unfortunately, Boston was just overall better than us. So now let's simulate ahead and see who wins the cup. It will be Colorado, who went through Nashville, New York, Washington, and Boston. And now it's time for the awards. The Stanley Cup goes to Colorado, of course. The President's Trophy goes to Edmonton, who had 122 points on the season. For the Hart, you have Matthew Tkachuk with 142 points. My goodness. Then for the Conn Smythe, you have Marty Necas with 32 points for Colorado. For the Art Ross, you have Matthew Tkachuk with 142 points. For the Calder, you have James Higgins, only 42 points. And Maurice Richard, Matthew Tkachuk with 55 goals. For the Ted Lindsay, you have Matthew Tkachuk as well with 87 assists, I'm guessing that is. For the Bobby Orr Trophy, which is actually the the Selke Trophy, you have Nathan McKinnon with a 58.3 Corsi 4 percentage. For the actual Bobby Orr Trophy, you have Cale Makar for a second year in a row with 97 points. And then for the James Norris Trophy, you have Cale Makar once again with a 53.3 Corsi 4 percentage. And for the Vezina Trophy, you have Connor Hellebuck of Winnipeg. And then the Jack Adams goes to Chris Knobloch of Edmonton. It's showing New Jersey here, but I know that's not the case. Now let's see retirements. So Jacob Markstrom has retired at 36 years of age. He did well for us in the 2 years that he was here. He did very well. Just unfortunately no success in the playoffs this year. We were out pretty quickly. Also retiring are Justin Dowling, Adam Henrique, Keith Kincaid, Aaron Dell, Patrick Maroon. Other notable players, you have Corey Perry, Jamie Benn, Nick Foligno, Brad Marchand retires, Blake Wheeler, Adam Henrique, who we already saw, Jonathan Taves, Ryan McDonough, Valtteri Filppula retires at 42. Then you have Trevor Lewis. And here's the end of season recap. Eliminated this year are the Anaheim Ducks and the Chicago Blackhawks. So no more Connor Bedard in the league. No more Trevor Zegras, assuming he was still on the Ducks when they got eliminated. I assume so. Yes, he was. So, yep, the league is getting ever smaller now, as we're now down to 28 teams in the league. And now, before we end off this episode, let's see the draft lottery. At number 12, you have Boston. Then you have Detroit, Calgary, Philly, LA, Montreal, Utah, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Seattle, Carolina at number 2. And then at number 1 is Minnesota. So I think with all that being done, it's been a very eventful episode already. So we're going to end it off here, but not before I thank the channel members. Thank you guys so much for your support. It really means a lot. And I will see you guys in the next one.